Howdy ho, friends, family, fans, and finish line focused, fantastic, fine folks. Good to see you here this morning. It is Saturday, May 6th, and I have just left Curley Maple Shelter. It's about 10 minutes till 8, and the forecast for today is not the best. It is supposed to get up to around 50 for a high, which would be great, but it's supposed to be high winds, and tonight it's supposed to be a chance of rain kind of all day, on and off. The percentages change, but it's going to rain or keep raining, and then tonight is supposed to be 35 degrees with fairly high winds and rain showers. So something to consider where you camp and all that. Need to make sure you've got your cold weather gear, because 35 is one thing, but you add winds and rain to it, now you're talking really cold, really chilly. Anyway, last night it rained. Oh man, it poured and poured rain. It spit and sprinkled from dinner time on, but then during the night it poured and poured rain. So I'm glad I was in the shelter. Didn't sleep very well, which is to be expected. That shelter is really nice, but it's got a tin roof, and that tin roof sounded like a bomb during the rain, the rainstorms. And then a couple people snoring, stuff like that. So anyway, didn't sleep much, but feel surprisingly good this morning, probably because I only hiked less than 5 miles yesterday. So yeah, feel good. Body feels good. Shin splints are I can almost say that they're nearly gone. Occasionally they hurt a little bit, and I say they because my right one does just a little bit. My left one, here's a big split. The markings showed straight ahead for the AT, so I'm going to go up here and see what happens. But there was a big split there. We'll see. I think there's a remnant of an old mark, an old blaze on that tree. We'll see. You got to pay attention. You get to those big intersections, and there was 4 different ways you could go. So, I think there's a white blaze up here. There is. We chose wisely. See if you can name that movie. We'll play a game. One guy, he chose poorly, and then the other guy chose wisely. Yeah, see if you guys can name that movie. That'll be fun. I know Halo can. So Halo, you don't count. You have to wait for everybody else. Anyway, yeah, chose correctly. Hiking the AT, that's what I'm going to do today. I got this morning and thought about it. What should I do? And I decided I'm going to go hike for a while. Hike the Appalachian Trail. So that's what I'm doing today. I packed my backpack and away I go. I don't know if you can see. I got my rain cover, pack cover on, because it's going to be spitting rain. Right now I've got my rain jacket on, but my legs, hopefully you can see them. Yeah, my legs are bare except for my compression socks or compression sleeves. And by the way, wow, are those things, they work well. Like I said, shin splints are doing great. I did take 2 ibuprofen today. This morning I'm going to see how I do, and if I do well, I won't take any tomorrow morning, and we'll see how I do. But I've been really trying to keep that inflammation down. My left shin was a mess when Halo and the kids came to get me. Wow. Anyway, had a good day yesterday hiking up the mountain with Dean from Colorado. He's a great guy. Really enjoy him. And then I met a real nice guy named Trek last night. I think I mentioned him. And he's 56 years old, out here hiking. But I do not know where he's from. I can't remember. He told me. So anyway, sorry, hopefully I'll meet him again here, and then I can ask him. I'd love to know more about his story. He seems like a very legit hiker. He's out here for the right reasons, for sure. Yeah, Irwin was a neat town. I really liked Irwin. Might be one of my favorite trail towns. Everything was real close to the Super 8, so you could walk to everything pretty easily. And then Uncle Johnny's seemed like a really neat place. I got to meet Miss Janet yesterday. She's a infamous trail angel. Used to have a hostel, but now she just kind of goes along with the bubble, the hiker bubble, and does trail magic. So yeah, I got to talk with her yesterday. And my shuttle driver, Doug. Hey, Doug. Good to meet you, sir. And I sure hope to get back and do some smallmouth fishing with you. Doug was a neat, very neat guy, and I think he'd like to be out here with us hiking. He's shuttling hikers, but he wants to be out here. He really likes hikers, you can tell. So that was neat to get to be with him. Hey, kind of a view this morning. Plan for today, I'm gonna hike. I'm gonna hike up this mountain and see how it goes. Possibly around 22 miles. That would get me to the second shelter from Curley Maple, and that would be great. I'd love to get in there, but I gotta kind of haul the mail if I'm gonna do that. I was the first one up by like 20 minutes or more, and so I couldn't get my stuff together that much because I didn't want to wake everybody else up. So I'm a little late getting out of the shelter to do that kind of mileage, because I don't want to get in at 8:30, 8:15 again. That was hard. And then I got to bed so late, and anyway, that's not the best. So we'll see what kind of mileage I can get done. But even if I can get like 18 or close to 20, if I can find a good stealth spot, I can do that. That'd be better. Being in a shelter, you have to think about everybody else and be very courteous not to wake them up and be up late or be up early and making lots of noise, so that everybody can get the sleep that they need to do their day, to hike their hike. And that changes everything. When I'm in my tent, I can pretty much do everything in my tent and pack everything up, and nobody even knows. The loudest thing is letting the air out of my air mattress. Otherwise, I can get out of my tent, fold up my tent as the last thing, which goes right on top, and then put it away, and I can be gone, and almost nobody even knows. So I much prefer my tent. Plus, I can just kind of spread my gear out. When you're in a shelter, you have to keep it all in your pack and then hang your pack up. And because I normally tent, my sleeping bag and sleeping pad are on the bottom of my pack. They're the last things you need when you're in a tent, but they're the first things you need when you're in a shelter. So it's kind of a mess. You got to unpack everything and then set up your pad and sleeping bag and then repack everything. And then if you need something from the bottom, you got to unpack it. So it was nice to be out of the rain and wind. Sleeping bag report. So I'm not sure what the low was last night. I think it was below 40, maybe 37. And I had my sleeping bag zipped up. I had my drawstring pulled, and a couple of times I got a little too warm and I had to open it up. But then several times I got way too cold. I got a duck. Yeah. There's the blowdown I had to go through. Several times I got too cold or chilly, and I'd have to kind of reposition everything and get kind of tucked back in. And my bag was bone dry, fluffy, ready to go. And it was like 37 and no wind in the shelter. So I'm not sure that bag is going to work for me. I must just sleep too cold. I don't know. So Halo ordered me the Western Mountaineering Alpenlight, which is their 20-degree bag. And I know I'm getting into the season where I won't need that much more, but I will need it up north later on, and possibly still need it, you know, now for a little while. We'll see. So I'm just going to compare them. I'll probably sleep in it once or twice and make the decision on which one to keep. But this 20-degree Z-Packs, the quality's great. Everything's great. I just don't think it's the right bag for me. I'm not going to not recommend it for people. You just got to know how you sleep. And if it was colder, like when Early Riser started or Red Mage, if it was colder like those guys, boy, I'd have to have a lot different gear, a lot heavier gear. So anyway, oh, speaking of lightweight gear, met a guy yesterday named Sparkle Feet, and he's kind of from all over. I think he's kind of a general trail bum, and his wife or the female significant other that was with him, I think her trail name is Gary Busey, but Sparkle Feet's pack, I think he said weighed 18 pounds with food and water. It was unbelievably light. I picked it up. I mean, it was a tiny little pack. It looked like a day pack, and it was a Mountain Laurel design. He said they make great synthetic sleeping bags and frameless packs, super lightweight stuff. So if you're looking for ultralight, you might check out Mountain Laurel designs, because wow, his pack was crazy light. And they've done a lot of hiking. They've through the AT before, and they've done several Western trails. They're going to do the PCT next year. So pretty neat talking with him. Lots of experience. All right, trail is definitely taking on a different feel now. 350 miles in, and not going to say that all the partiers have dropped off, but the people that are here have smaller packs, and they are looking at doing hiking, not going from shelter to shelter to spend the whole day, you know, at the shelter. There's more hikers out here than partiers, and I guess after Damascus, Damascus, Virginia, the partiers really drop off. So the feel is changing. People that are here have good gear, good experience. They know what they're doing, and you know, it's anyway just a different vibe, different culture. So, and I kind of prefer this culture now more than at the beginning when there were so many people. I really enjoy Huggable and Yeti. They are just the sweetest young couple. I really enjoy them, and Dean and Peregrine. Great folks, and Bambi and Spike, everybody. Oh, Extra Mile and Leapfrog seem like they're really cool too. So anyway, having some fun and going hiking, and I'm so thankful that it's not raining right now. I can hike in the rain, but it's a lot better when it's not raining. All right, thanks again for coming along with me. Sorry about going so long here on this segment, but I haven't done a lot of filming the last couple of days, and so I thought I'd kind of catch everybody up a little bit. Mentally, real quick, doing well this morning. Emotionally, you know, spiritually, same thing, and physically doing pretty well. So, yep, looking forward to seeing what the day brings and what kind of opportunities I have. And we'll just keep marching north, heading north. Thanks, guys, for your prayers and your support and your encouragement. All the comments below, I thank you for that. It's great seeing the comments. Sorry I can't respond very often. My AT&T phone, I hardly ever get service, and so it's hard to respond timely. And so just thank you for everything, and we'll keep it going. I appreciate you guys appreciating Halo and her little comments and things. Hopefully between the two of us, you get some enjoyment out of these videos. I love her. She is amazing. She's my best friend and my wife for nearly 20 years. In July, it'll be 20 years. So praise the Lord. Thank you, guys. I want to talk about my shoes for a minute. So I'm still wearing the Oboes and O stands for outdoors, and Bose stands for Bozeman, Montana, where they're made. So Oboz Traverse shoes, boy, they are great. They are very durable, and they have a solid rock plate and toe. I'll pan down so you can see it. Toe guard. But the reason I like them is because of pieces of trail like this. These are rocks, man. Every possible nook and cranny and angle that you can step on, you're going to step on. And I still enjoy putting these shoes on every morning. Like, I slip these on and lace them up, and they feel great. Now, I know a lot of people that have a lot of foot injuries and pain. In fact, a lot of them are off the trail now. They went kind of fast, and they walk around like this with lightweight trail runners, and their feet get bruised and hurt and injured. And then they have to quit or take many days off or get off the trail or whatever. And I don't know, I've only got 350 miles on the trail, so I'm by no means an expert. But man, my feet, that you don't even feel those rocks. I call them four-wheel drive shoes. You can kind of go across that stuff and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at the end of the day. Now, my feet are tired after, 18 or 20 miles, and the pads of my feet get kind of sore and tired. But I think that's just carrying my body and pack over that many miles up and down the hills and the mountains. So it's not the fault of the shoes. It's just it's what goes with the territory of hiking. Anyway, I'm not telling you what shoes to get, because you have to get what fits and what works. But boy, am I liking these Oboz. Great traction on the rocks, great traction in the mud and the dirt. But roots, wet tree roots, watch out. They are slippery. I don't know anybody that doesn't slip on tree roots like those boogers right there. Boy, you got to watch out. I don't know anybody that doesn't slip, so I don't think these are any worse than anybody else's. But the soles being pretty hard may make them a little more slippery on the roots. I don't know. But anyway, there's my thoughts. Thoughts about shoes and these. So, but you have to get what fits and what works for you. There's no one best shoe for sure. Coming up the mountain, getting kind of foggy and hazy. It's nice and cool, but now I'm going uphill enough that I'm starting to sweat, which isn't good, because up on top it's going to be windy and cold. So I may have to take the rain jacket off. Don't know. Hopefully you can see the van. There goes Miss Janet, trying to get going up this big gravel road and big mountain. She just stopped and asked me if I needed anything, and I needed a little bit of water. So she gave me some water, and I filled up my bottles, or got them to the level that I wanted, and tried to give me some advice on where to hike to. So that was great. I guess the weather up on Roan Mountain was pretty brutal this morning. 30 degrees and snowy. So she says I need to avoid that today, dilly-dally, and then go through there tomorrow. So we'll see how far I get. Good advice. Great trail angel. I think earlier, by the way, I said she was infamous. No, she's famous and revered and loved on the trail. So yeah, hopefully I didn't misspeak there. Anyway, there we go. Here's something that you hate to see. This is a tent that's blown down. It's got water in it. It's got wet sleeping bags, clothes, backpack, and food in there. It looks like maybe 2 sleeping bags in there. And so that size of the tent tells me, in the tarp underneath, it's like just a Walmart tarp. And the size of the tent, I'll even show you inside. The size of the tent tells me it's definitely not a thru hiker, not a a very experienced backpacker, because the stuff is really big and heavy. So hopefully it's just a local that was out for the night, and the tent blew down and they just took off in the middle of the night. Maybe. I don't know. But I met some other hikers that found it first, and they let Miss Janet know so she can kind of spread the word. I haven't seen anybody as I go northbound, and they haven't seen anybody as they go southbound. So hopefully it's been there for a couple days and the people are in town and fine. They just haven't come back up to get their gear yet. But boy, you hate to see that because you don't know. Did a person go to the restroom at night and then not be able to find their way back? You know, what's going on with them? So you hate to see it. It's the second tent I've seen that was abandoned on the trip. The first one was way back near the beginning, and it was like real cheap gear. Like a Walmart tent and a Walmart sleeping bag that had been abandoned. And so anyway, just kind of makes you nervous, makes you wonder. So headed up towards Beauty Spot. It's chilly, it's breezy, my hands are very cold. I've got my gloves on, and they're getting better, but I can't stop long or I get cold. So hoping to get across this high point and get down and get out of the wind a little bit more, and then head to Clyde something or another shelter, which is basically 22 miles from Curley Maple. So that's going to be a big day. We'll see how it goes. It's supposed to be really nasty tonight, but then better tomorrow. So the folks I met going southbound were slack packing and staying in town tonight. That's probably a smart move, especially with me and my sleeping bag that I'm not exactly super warm in. So tonight, by the way, last night I slept with very little clothing on to see if I could heat up my bag better. Tonight I'm going to try the opposite. I'm going to put on lots of clothing and see how that goes. So we'll do an experiment on the trail learning. All right, that's it for now. Here's the trail. Here's the view. I just wanted to show you. There are like posts every once in a while with a white blaze on it to mark these balds. Went across Beauty Spot a few minutes ago. Couldn't see hardly 10 feet, 20 feet or something in front of me. So anyway, just thought I'd show you. But it's going okay. The wind has kind of laid down and just real foggy. So there you have it. Ooh, trees are coming into view. That's pretty. There you go, that's snow. Headed up. I haven't looked at the book, so I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I think I heard Miss Janet say Unica Mountain. Whatever it is, it's the high point after Irwin, Unica Mountain. It's like 5,200 feet, 5,180, I think. And here you go, snow. I heard it snowed on Roan Mountain last night and snowed here. The thing that I'm dealing with, and I'm just going to be super honest, I hope I don't sound like a whiny baby pants, but I'm going to be super honest. It's got me nervous hiking days like today with nights like tonight predicted, when it's going to be rainy and snowy and near freezing with high winds. I'm sweaty under my rain jacket, and then I'm cold outside my rain jacket, or you know, with my rain jacket on. It sounds weird, but that's what happens when you're hiking and exerting all the energy, is you get sweaty but chilly, so you can't put on more clothes or you get even sweatier, and then they get wet. Then when you get to camp, you don't have anything dry to put on. So it's such a fine balance. I mean, I'm sure I'm overanalyzing and whatever, but the bottom line is you don't want to carry so much stuff that you can't make the trail, but you need to carry enough to be safe. And so every piece of gear is so important. And I've got a little bit of a possibly insufficient sleeping bag. So seeing the snow does not warm my heart, and it's like dropping rain right now, so I got to get the camera put away. Anyway, there's my thoughts right now. That's kind of what goes through my mind as the wind blows and howls and it's super cold or chilly, you know, and then I get wet. It's like, darn it. But that's backpacking. You can't pick your days and hike only when it's nice and make it to Maine. So there you have it. There's my couple of cents worth. All right, I'm still climbing up this whatever mountain, Unica or whatever it is, and you can see, I mean, there's snow everywhere, fog. Yep, it's blowing and going. So we're marching forward, but I'm ready to get off this mountain. That's for sure. It is pretty though. I know today's video is going to be super long. I'm sorry about that. But is this not some of the most gorgeous, like, scenery, you know, of the whole trail? And by the way, the trail is so rough and it's so slippery right now. I'm sorry about the camera work. It is really rough, but man, this is cool. I know I've been whining and complaining about the cold and the wet and everything, and I mean that but this is so pretty. These cedars and spruces covered in snow. Wow, this is neat. And we're in such a dense, or I'm in such a dense pine forest that there's no wind. It's sure pretty. Had to stop and put on my rain pants because it was so snowing and sleeting so hard. I didn't want my other clothes to get wet, so I put them on. And I also had to stop later and put my water filter, my Sawyer Squeeze, in my pocket inside my shorts under my rain pants to keep it from freezing, because it's below freezing up here. This is challenging and difficult, but boy, is it gorgeous. Man, is it pretty. I'm going to pan real slow. By the way, my precious little baby girl, Gigi, or Giggling Gazelle, has her very first dance recital today at like 3 o'clock. And so, boy, little Gigi, I love you, and I hope that you do great and that it goes great and that you have so much fun. I know you've worked very hard for this, and so I can't wait to see the DVD. I love you, and I'm so proud of you. I hope that this recital is all that you hoped it would be, and I'm sorry that I can't be there, but I'm sure praying for you. And again, can't wait to see you and see the DVD. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Anyway, I better stop, or this video will be 2 hours long and nobody will watch it. Welcome back. Or welcome back to me. You're watching straight through, but it's been a long time since I filmed last. It is 6:15, and I am at a little over 20 miles for the day. I think I'm less than a mile, about a half mile from a possible tent site. I'm guessing it's in some kind of a gap. I don't know, but Gut Hook app says there's a tent site coming up with a small stream nearby. Or it's one more mile after that to the Clyde Smith shelter. But boy, I am tired. It's been raining, sleeting, and snowing all day. Muddy. Boy, going up over that mountain, whether it's Unica or whatever that mountain is, I'll try and read it and pronounce it correctly later for you. But whatever that mountain was, it was covered in pine trees. Man, it was rocky and rooty up there. Muddy, slippery, snowy. I went so slow through that. But the trail's been pretty decent otherwise. The only problem is I just didn't sleep much last night. All the rain and the snoring and stuff in the shelter. So my plan is to get down here and boy, get my tent set up. Sorry about the camera bouncing. I'm trying to keep going. I've had to hike almost straight through, stopping very little because it's so cold. You can't stop. And if you wear enough clothes that you could stop and be warm, you would sweat so much while you're hiking that they'd be soaking wet, and then you'd have nothing warm to put on at camp. So it's one of those days where it's not great hiking. Let's put it that way. But I'm almost done for the day. I've got, between a half mile-ish and a mile and a half, depending on what. Halo told me this morning that Early Riser had said there's like a good campsite just past the shelter, like just a couple tents. I don't know. My hope is that this spot coming up is out of the wind and I can set up there, because boy, I'm going to get water, get my tent set up, get inside and change into every piece of clothing I've got that's dry and warm, and get in my sleeping bag. And I think I have a very special dinner tonight. I think. You'll see. I'll try and get the camera fired up. Phone's acting weird. It's been damp all day. And so, oh wow. There's a nice campsite. Right there. Beautiful green grass. I'm going to walk up here and see. Wow. Huh. This is one of the prettiest spots. Anyway, let me check my phone and see. Maybe this is the place. So I don't want to walk past it. This was it. I'm standing on the Appalachian Trail, or at least like 2 feet off of it. And there's my tent. Very nice level ground, grass. Stream was 100 yards that direction, so I've got water. I am fixing to get inside and cook me some supper. I'm very cold. But the breeze is laid down, and this is a beautiful spot. I'm super happy about this. So thank you, Lord. Thank you for getting me through this day. This was a difficult day, but it's definitely a confidence builder. So now let me get inside and get warm. All right, I made it in my tent, changed clothes. I've got long underwear on, my base layer, smart wool, darn tough socks. I've got my zip-off pants. I've got my top on, my base layer top. I've got a t-shirt on, and then I've got my Patagonia shirt, which was slightly damp, but I'm wearing it to dry it out. And then I've got my puffy, of course. Sorry about the camera there. Got my puffy on. I've got dry skivvies on, dry everything, and my merino wool buff, and my Z-Packs fleece toboggan, my toque, my stocking cap. I got that on. That's keeping my head nice and warm. Now I am preparing to blow up my air mattress, get that laid out, get my sleeping bag laid out. I'm going to get in my sleeping bag, and then I will begin to get food ready for supper. I will be cooking from my sleeping bag. So there you have it. I just thought I'd show you kind of what it looks like in the tent. There's my backpack. My hiking clothes are back here. They are right there. They are surprisingly not that wet, but my socks are very wet. My shoes are real wet, and shoes and socks are wet. Feet are pruned and tender. But anyway, feel good. I'm surprised. 21 miles. Got here. I don't even know what time it is. What time I got here? Let me look. Hang on. It's 7 o'clock now, so I probably got here 20 minutes ago, or 6:30 or so. Went down and got water, got the tent set up. So, yep, here we go. All right, we'll see what the rest of the night brings, and then tomorrow. I know today's is already going to be long, but I thought I'd show you my supper. I have some Alfredo pasta, some herb and garlic tuna fish. I got a peanut bar and some peanut butter crackers. So that's my supper for tonight. I am boiling my water down there. I'm wrapped up in my sleeping bag, and I am pretty warm and pretty content, pretty happy. There you have it. That will be it. Today was difficult, challenging because of the weather. The snow was beautiful up on the top of that mountain, but sounds like I'm boiling already. I gotta go. Anyway, it was a good day, challenging day. I'm glad to be here, glad to be warm and dry, and looking forward to some sun tomorrow. So thanks a bunch for coming along. I'm so glad that you take time to encourage me, and it encourages me just even knowing that you care, that you're watching. So thanks a bunch, and we'll check in tomorrow. Have a good night.